I'm Craig McLean and welcome to episode 3 of the Mk1 Escort reassembly. Now, when I left you last time, we were just wrapping the internal section of the loom. I want to try and spice it up a bit, try and keep a bit of variety, so I don't want to bore you all with the same topic. But the start of this video will be a little bit more wiring. I've now got the rear heated window loom. I managed to win that on eBay, but unfortunately I missed out on the hazard warning loom by £4, at least £4 anyways. So yeah, I'll show you what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to add it into the rear loom, wrap the pair together. I've also bought some 2-core 1.5mm cable that I'm going to run in the same loom, and basically that's to feed the fuel pump, which will be situated in the boot. So I'll let you see some of the items I've bought, and then I'll let you see the loom when it's all finished and ready to go in the car. So these are the items I was just talking about. First one being the rear heated window loom. Comes with everything you need. Switch. The switch obviously looks a little bit worn out. You can get new faces for these switches, which I'll definitely be getting. I'll be getting all new face switches, which come with a chrome rim and new switch plate front. So yeah, it's all there. All the wires are there. This one here, this is the long one that runs to your rear heated window. I did pay a fair amount for this, a little bit more than I wanted to, but when you see it, it is in remarkable condition. To be honest, it looks brand new. If it wasn't for the fact that the switch doesn't look brand new, I would have said it was brand new. This is the 2-core cable I was just talking about. It's just 2-core, red and black, 1.5mm, according to the table, capable of about 21 amps. I think fuel pumps pull about 10, anywhere between 10 and 15, so that's ample. I also might use a length of that as well to feed the rear reverse lights, because the rear reverse lights aren't part of the rear loom. So I'm now going to crack on, get these wrapped, ready to go in the car. I'll let you see it when it's ready to go in the car. And then I'm looking to get the looms laid into the car, and I don't think I'll go any further than that with wiring, because you know, we don't want to see too much of the same thing. I don't want to bore everyone. So I'll crack on with it and I'll let you see it when I'm finished. And there we have it. Rear section of the loom. Looking just as good as the front. So at the front here, we've got this main plug here. That plugs into the front section of the loom. Supplies all the rear lights, fuel sender, all the rest of it. We've got this cable here. That wraps into the heated window loom. Now I run out of the smaller wrap, so I'll order some more. That can be done anytime because it's only behind the dash, but I will get that wrapped the same so it all ties in. There's a couple of anomalies with the loom. If we go to the back here, this is the plug for the fuel sender, and for some reason it seems to come out of the loom closer to the front than it does at the back. But I've done continuity tests, I've checked the drawing, and that's definitely the fuel sender wire. So I don't entirely know why it comes out as far forward as it does. I'm hoping when I get the loom in the car, that'll become more apparent. So as I mentioned, these 2 cables here, one of them's for reverse lights, and the other one feeds the fuel pump, which I'm going to hopefully mount somewhere around by the back tank, but I want it hidden. And then on the tank, that's the fuel pump wire. Comes out by the driver's side rear light. I think I'd like to mount the pump under the tank. I think there's a little gap underneath the tank, but I don't want to put the fuel filter under the tank because obviously that wants to be more accessible for maintenance. So I'll get it running to the car, and the next bit of footage you'll see it in the car, and hopefully looking somewhere near. Right, I've now got most of the wiring loom run into the car. The back section and the internal section, I mean by that. So I had to do a bit of Googling to find the route, because the problem is I didn't strip this car down. The car came as a bare shell. If I'd stripped it down, I'd have took notes, I'd have marked things up, but I don't actually know off the top of my head all the time just what the routes are and how certain things go together. And having never had a Mk1 Escort before, well, obviously that doesn't help. So now I'm really pleased with that. All the cables are run into where they need to be. The 3 for the back lights. I run an additional cable in for the both rear reverse lights. So they're all running in the boot. I managed to find the proper clips to clip the loom as well. It was one of them, you know, one of them times where you look in a box, you're looking for something, and it's just right there on top of the first box you look in. It was one of them. I don't know, it was just one of them days where everything seemed to go nice. So that's the section in the boot ran in. And in the car, all the cables ran into where they need to be. In the centre, we've got the cables in the centre ready for the switch panel. So we've got the wiper motor, the heater motor. There's the switching now for the rear heated window. These are just the supply, the heated window. They need running into the fuse box. I'll do that at a later date. Cables running there for the cigarette lighter. All the gauge cables, they're all marked up and where they need to be. Now, something I did just find out as I ran this loom in. Again, as I said before, a lot of this stuff's new to me. And I always thought that the light switch, obviously for dip and main beam, was in the centre panel, where the rest are. And when I ran the loom in, the plug was over here in the bottom, in the dash here. And I was thinking, why is the plug over here? And there's a perfect cutout for it. And as I've did a little bit more investigation and a little bit more digging around on Google, I found that that is actually the position for the light switch. So every day is a school day. I didn't know that. Like I say, I didn't strip it down, so I'm learning as I go along. But the loom has gone in really nice. The plug from back to front comes down, runs along in the channel. There it is, running up into the boot, and I've actually heat shrunk the tabs that hold the loom down. Now, that grey cable there, if anyone can help, please leave it in the comments. That cable comes out of the loom. It's properly loomed in, so it's not, it hasn't been left there by just anybody. It's originally from that point in the loom. And that single grey cable is for the fuel sender, fuel tank being over in that corner. And there's no way on earth that that cable reaches. So if anyone could possibly tell me the route of that cable, where it should run, whether there's two parts to it or whether I need to lengthen it or what, I would really appreciate that. So yeah, that's most of the loom in. I'll see if I can get some footage up the back of the dash to show you just how neatly I've gone with it. I don't know if that's going to show up. But basically the cables run flat along the bottom of the dash. They're all nicely loomed in. I like things done properly. I'm not one of these that's into just rushing the job, getting it done fast as possible. I want it done properly. My aim is I want this Escort to be one of the best put together Mk1 Escorts on the road. I don't care how long it takes, as long as it's right when it's finished. Some other plans I've got for the wiring loom, as mentioned before by one of the subscribers, the looms are very, very badly fused. They're basically the only part of the loom I can find with fuses in is the headlights. Now I want to do something about that. Now a lot of people will say, oh, but it won't be original if you do that. Well, I'm sorry, but safety comes before originality for me. And if any one of these cables arcs out onto the body anywhere and they're not fused, it'll be a goodbye car. So I'd rather there was fuses inserted into every circuit. So my plan is to put a bracket underneath this section of the dash with the fuse boxes facing downwards so you can easily get them. And this is what I've got in mind. Now, while I've been doing obviously a bit of wiring recently, I've noticed that, you know, these Escorts are very badly fused, and that was also confirmed by one of my subscribers, Lee Reynolds, who is also building a beautiful Mk1 Mexico, I think his is. Lee has even done his own paint work, which I think is absolutely remarkable to do something like that at home. But he highlighted the fact as well that these Escorts are very badly fused. So what we have here, this is a 12-way fuse box. I'm not going to be looking to use a 12-way. I'm going to be looking to use very similar to one of these. In fact, it's pretty much identical, other than the fact that it's a 6-way. And the plan for that is they're a very good fuse box, because all you need to do is bring a main earth into it from the body, and then each circuit has got an outgoing earth to feed to each individual circuit for, you know, your fuel pump, engine management, heated windows, etc, etc. Then you bring at the other side a positive feed in, and then this feeds all your outgoing fuse waste, so you're not having to link through your fuse box with, with link cable or whatever, which starts to look messy. It's basically one in and one out for each circuit. So it'll be 6-way, not 12-way. And what I'm planning on doing is coming from the ignition. I'll probably get 2 of the 6 ways. One to come from the ignition switched side. So it'll come from the ignition on the big cable through this terminal, and then each individual circuit will then go through the fuse box. And then the same again for permanent live, same again. Beauty of that is each circuit will be individually fused and not straight off the ignition as it appears now. Now I know a lot of people say that's not original, but what is more important, originality or your car going up in flames? And I know what I think is more important. Hence the reason why I'm going to be fitting 2 of these facing downwards under the right hand side of the dash in a nice accessible location. So I'll maybe put a little bit of footage at a later date showing you just how I've done that. So if it's something you're interested in, just watch out for that. So yeah, that's basically where I'm up to at the minute. I'm going to GSS Escorts, as I've previously mentioned, this Friday. I'm hoping to get some bits. Now then, today's job's been a little bit of a change from wiring. I've decided I've had enough of wiring for now, so as you can see, I've now run in the 2 8mm feed and return fuel lines. I'm pretty happy with how it's gone. There's one area in particular I'll show you in a minute at the back that I wish I could have got slightly better, but from here, from the bulkhead pretty much to the start of the boot floor, I'm really happy with it. So let's see if I can zoom in a little bit and show you. As you can see, I've got them nice and straight. I'm quite pleased with that. So I'll take you to the back, show you the section at the back I was just talking about, and see what you think. So at the back, pipes step out, come along, up, back onto the chassis leg, and then the finish just there. Now what the plan was is to continue these pipes along round this corner and straight through these 2 grommets. The problem with that was there was just far too many angles and too many clips and stuff holding the pipes, and trying to get them bent to them exact tolerances was an absolute nightmare. And when I finally did get it there, I wasn't happy with the way it looked. So the plan now is to replace these grommets with 2 bulkhead fittings, come across with 2 probably braided lines. I've used the hole that I did have a clip in. I've put a captive nut in it now, so it's now captive nut ready for fixings for the rubber or steel over braid lines. They'll come over and join onto the 2 lines, so it'll basically just be that section there in braided. So I didn't film this section because obviously I filmed the putting the clips and brake lines and stuff in, and I thought, I don't need to go through all that again. So that's today's job. So here we are at GSS Escorts. I'll take you in the workshop and give you a bit of a tour. Now I've had to do a voiceover because as I entered the workshop there was a Red Hot Chili Peppers song playing, and I don't want to get done for copyright, hence the voiceover. So as you can see, it's not all about Mark 1 and Mark 2 Escorts. They do the more modern stuff as well. I think this is a Mark 4, probably 3 or 4. But anyways, this is what I've come to see. So this guy is a guy called Sam Cosgrove. He's got the fantastic job of working on the likes of these every day. What a job to have. That would have to be certainly one of my dream jobs. And I think you'll agree when you see this car. It is absolutely stunning. And this is obviously the kind of quality of the cars that these lads are knocking out for customers every day. So the car you can see here is actually a Mark II shell. It's new old stock. I don't know where it came from. It's obviously all been painted. There's no rot anywhere. basically it's been dropped off with GSS Escorts. They're going to basically restore it, rebuild it, put it back together for the customer. So yeah, that'll be a fantastic car for someone when that's finished. Absolutely spot on. Over here you've got all the rows and rows of racking. Now they do anything from basically any classic Ford, Mark 1s, Mark 2, Escorts, Cortinas, you name it. Even up there, there's more and more stock up there. The place is rammed full of stock. Here's another beautiful Mark 1 Escort sitting in the corner. I assume it's another customer's car awaiting rebuild, just like the red Mark 2 over there. Well, I'm back from GSS Escorts, and what a fantastic couple of hours I had. Well, maybe just over an hour, I would say I had over at GSS Escorts in Runcorn. Fantastic bunch of lads. I really couldn't recommend them enough. They made you feel like, you know, you were welcome there. It wasn't just a case of, you know, hand over the money, ease your bits, off you go. It was nothing like that. You know, they had a crack with you. They wanted to know, you know, what you were doing. They showed me around the workshop and showed me what they were doing. Very, very friendly. They'd even been looking at some of my videos, and one of the lads has added me on Facebook. So yeah, genuine, real genuine, nice lads. And the prices were very reasonable. So definitely give GSS Escorts a look if you're building a Mark 1 or Mark 2 Escort. In fact, it doesn't even have to just be a Mark 1 or Mark 2 Escort, because they even stock bits for Cortinas, Mark 3, 4, 5 Escorts, you name it. I think they've recently changed the name to GS Classic Fords or something like that, not GS Escorts anymore. So here's just a little couple of the items before I start fitting them. What I got from GSS Escorts on Friday. So I've got an interior light, which is in lovely condition. Original fuse box and seal. That just needs a very light clean up, and that can go in the car probably today. I bought brand new door sliding windows. Now I did think to myself, to find a set of windows for the doors that aren't scratched would be a nightmare, because I notice on even new cars that are only 3-4 year old that some of the windows are scratched. So I'm really pleased that I managed to get new door windows for a very reasonable price. That's one of the door opening mechanisms for inside. He did have two, but he couldn't find the other one. So he's going to send that on to me, and the same goes for the window winder mechanism. He does have two, and he's going to send the other one on to me. I think he's just in the middle of getting new stock in and stuff, and there was bits here and there. So anyways, apparently the teeth on these generally wear out first. That's where they fall down. But these are very, very good. And again, very reasonably priced. So I've got two of them, the other one's coming. I've got the two rear, these are originals, the original rear quarter panels, two of them. These just need a light clean up and probably just a dusting with a bit of satin black, something like that, just to make them look like new. All they're missing is the ashtrays and the armrests. I'll buy them separate, but there's nothing stopping me getting them cleaned up, painted, put into the car in the coming days. I also bought the back shelf cover, which is a reproduction new item, and fits beautifully, looks the business, because I know a lot of these are very tatty. And I did get the dash top, which again, it's on back order and it'll be with me in the next 2 to 3 weeks, he said, which is no problem because I'm not in any major rush for it. So that's also coming as well. Like I said, great prices. I was quite taken back just by the prices, because I know what a lot of this kind of stuff goes for on eBay. It's ridiculous. And when the lads were giving me the individual prices, I was like, that's reasonable, that's reasonable. Everything was reasonable, to be fair. So yeah, that's the bits. That'll keep me busy for a week or two anyways. So as you can see, you've probably noticed I'm more concentrating on the insides of the car at present. I'm going to try and get the insides of the car, you know, close to completion by Christmas. That's the plan. I've got more bits for the inside of the car, believe it or not, than anything else. I've even found recently the seatbelt clasps and vents for the dash, handbrake, bits and bobs that just need cleaned up, and then they're ready to fit. So that's where I'll be going next. Bit more work on the interior. So while we're on the subject of GSS Escorts, my very kind wife Yasmin secretly bought me something while we were there on Friday. So would you like to tell the viewers, Yasmin, exactly what you bought for me?
It's a surprise and Craig will find out when it arrives.
She's not giving anything away. What a bugger her. I was hoping I might have tricked her into telling me what it was there. Phil! Now I've also got this as well. This didn't come from GSS Escorts, this come from a friend, Steve Gregg, who's also a fellow Ford man, has been for many, many years. He's got a beautiful Mark II Mexico. And he's given me this. This came with some bits he ordered a while ago. It's obviously a Mark I back seat. Or we've concluded that it's a Mark I back seat because at first we didn't know whether it was Mark I or Mark II. This needs recovered, as you can see. It is tatty, but it's the original beater cloth rear back seat. So the plans for this coming up shortly as well will be to strip this down, get all the frames, because obviously there's two there, the base and the back. Get all the frames repowder coated. You can buy the new beater cloth coverings from Aldridge Trimming, including the foams and everything. And I'm going to recover that seat back to beautiful condition, and then that can go in the car as well. I've already got the front seats in the loft, so other than a carpet, I can get the interior looking pretty close to finished. In the not so distant future. So I'm hoping within the next couple of months the interior will start to resemble a Mark I RS 2000. So that's it for this episode, guys. The next episode will probably be a bit more footage of fitting a lot of the parts you've just seen me getting from GSS Escorts. I've probably got enough there to keep me busy for a couple of weeks. So as always, if you like what you're seeing, please remember to like and subscribe. I'm pleased with how it's gone. I'm pleased with the feedback I'm getting from the videos. I would like to continue doing these videos, and with your support it certainly makes it worthwhile. So like I say, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.